I know there are many people out there who have read the works of Zecharia Sitchin and more recent followers of the Sitchin story, such as Michael Tellinger and so forth, and a great many other people who claim that these Archons cracked into the human genome and they hijacked, in some manner, the human genome. According to the Gnostic intel, they did not succeed in cracking into the human genome, but they did achieve a neural hack. They didn't biologically crack into the genome because, remember, who designed the genome? The genome was divinely designed in the galactic core by these cosmic artists and scientists, and they sealed the genome very, very carefully against intrusion. The Archons may be considered as a hive species, and most of them are drones. The drones are the Whitley Schreiber gray alien type, which is called a neonate, because it resembles a prematurely born fetus. But there are Archon overlords, or in particular, one master of the hive, which is described as Drakona, Drakona, in the Greek Coptic text. That is to say, as a draconic or reptilian form. So there is a reptilian overlord, and then there are the Archon drones. This is how you visualize them based on the Gnostic intel. They gave us this intel 1,600 years ago, and they had already been developing this intel for many, many millennia. So they had the scoop on the Archons and on ETs before anyone else on the planet. This is what they said. They said that they warned us. This warning, however, is not contained in the surviving Gnostic materials, but it's contained in the arguments of the Church Fathers against the Gnostics. But it is written very explicitly in the works of Irenaeus called Against Heresies. In that book, in that volume, Book 1, Chapter 4, he says that the Lord Archon, which the Gnostics called Yaldabaoth, managed to get access to the mind of a certain part of the human species, the ancient Hebrews, and that they infected the mind of the Hebrews with an alien virus or an alien mindset, and that they chose the Hebrews to be their representatives and therefore to wage war upon the rest of the human species by using the ancient Hebrews as their instruments of intrusion into our species. The way that they did that is that they installed an implant in the brain. They made a neural hack into the brains of that particular tribe of people. And as a result of that hack, there arose within the ancient Hebrews, at the time of Abraham, a cult, a sect. It didn't involve all of the people of the Hebrew or Jewish racial lineage, but a certain fraction of them formed a cult, and they were called the Zadokim. That comes from the Hebrew letter Zadik, or Tzadik, which is a letter in the Hebrew alphabet. And the word Zadik means the righteous, or the superior, or the supreme. So this cult, historically speaking, arose around 1800 BC, and this cult is the germ of salvationist and messianic religion. And it developed first in Judaism, then it spread into Christianity, then it spread into Islam. So all three of the Abrahamic religions derive from the same source, and that source is an extraterrestrial implant in the human mind. Our ability as human animals to just live in peace together on this planet, to coexist with each other, and to investigate the natural world, and to discover and unfold our true potential as creations of Sophia is interfered with. We are not allowed to do it because there is a foreign influence working among us. And that foreign influence takes the form of a religious ideology of salvation, the chosen people, the Messiah, and the end of the world scenario. Those ideas, which are widespread in human culture, as you know, do not even belong in the human mind. They are not a product of human mentality, even though they have been received and developed and transmitted by the human mind. They do not originate in the human mind. They originate as an alien transplant in our minds, an alien virus. Then, through St. Paul, the archonic virus that had been incubating in the ancient Hebrews, in the Zadokim sect, went pandemic in Christianity. So it mutated, it rebooted itself in a pandemic form in Christianity, and then it rebooted itself again in an even more vicious form in Islam. So all three of those religions are expressions of this virus. There is actually an alien virus infecting the human brain on this planet, and that is why the insanity of religion has been spread across the pages of history. These three religions have produced more destruction, more murder, more division and violence than anything else in the world. And that is because they do not belong in this world. They do not belong here. You know, one of the most difficult things, I think perhaps the most difficult block that people face in getting the benefit of this Gnostic material is that we are used to thinking that those religions and the concepts in those religions, you know, the concept of the chosen people, of the Messiah, of God's plan by which humanity will be tested and then rewarded or punished, you know. We are so accustomed to those notions that we assume that human beings produce them and they must be the product of our own minds, but they're not. And when you begin to consider that they're not the product of our own minds, that is an incredible awakening.